Well, hello everyone. Welcome to SRL Asia Pacific on the PC platform. We are here for round 7 in Germany. And yeah, we should be in for a good race. I apologize for being a little bit late. Unfortunately, I had school and I had to really rush home, so I'm actually sweating now. But I'm glad I made it in time. These guys started a little bit later as well than the usual time, so that helped me quite a bit getting here to stream. But from now on we should be having a normal stream. So yeah, as I said, it should be a good race. Germany is quite known on the game for being harsh on tires and penalties as well. So it's going to be a really difficult race for these guys to manage. Of course, most of these guys quite experienced from last season in this track as well. So I would expect everyone, well except Simon here as he's on the ultras. But I expect everyone to go onto the softs and then go to the mediums later in the race to complete the one stop. You could do the two stop as well. I even considered it myself in AOR last week, but I decided to stick with the safe strategy, the one stop. If you are gonna qualify on the ultra softs, then you are gonna for sure do a two stop, as the one stop is basically impossible. It's quite tough to manage the one stop in the softs to medium strategy. So yeah, Simon looking to be on the two-stopper. The pit lane delta around this track is around 17 seconds, so you don't really lose as much as on other tracks, though it is still not ideal. But let's get focused on the times. You can see Nimble has retired from the session, so he is gonna be at the back. I believe he's got a qualifying ban too from an incident last week. Of course, we didn't stream the British Grand Prix as I was not available and no other commentator as well. But thankfully for Austria we did have a stream, so thanks to Borderline for streaming that. It was on the official highlights as well on this very channel. So if you missed the Austrian Grand Prix and still would like to watch it, then have a go at that video. But right now everyone is gonna start going out for the final runs in the session. And this is when it's gonna count. So there's quite a lot of pressure on these guys. We've got 11 drivers in the field today. So one is gonna have the advantage of fresh tires. And one is really gonna be frustrated with P10. It's often mentioned as the worst starting position in Formula 1, P10. Or P9 as well. Because it's right at the back of the top 10 and it is in the midfield. Hello Richard, welcome to the stream. I would assume you are gonna be rooting for combined YouTuber. I wanted to say his name, but I don't think he likes me saying that on stream, so I won't. But yeah, welcome. Let me quickly share the stream on Twitter, so I could get some more views in. Meanwhile, the drivers are gonna be finishing their out laps and starting a hot lap. Let's go on board with combined YouTuber. So into turn 4 combined YouTuber goes, on the throttle here. It's quite easy to lose the back end there, but he managed to keep it on the track. He has the controller used as well, so that makes it even harder to keep the car on the track around there. But into the hairpin he goes, around the 100 meter board, slightly overshoots it, but it's not the end of the world in this corner, as the wider line could also give you quite a big advantage, with better traction. And here he goes into the Mercedes grandstand section. You don't really want to hit that inside curb, the orange one. Though if you can master it, you can actually gain a tenth or two there. But it is very risky. And the famous corner for Sebastian Vettel bottle. I'm sorry Richard, but I had to mention it. So if the race is going to be wet, then the drivers are going to have to watch out for that, because they for sure don't want a repeat of that in the game. But across the line, combined YouTuber goes and he sets a 1 minute 12.540. That is provisional P4 for him, as the other guys are now on the hot laps too, like Pencil, Degree and Simon. He is on the Ultra Softs, so don't forget about that one. I think he is going to be the favorite for pole position here. And that is purely because he is on the softest compound of them all. And we got BRL Torpedo jumping to P3. 1 minute 12.1. Almost 8.2. And he is in P3 right now. And he's calling it a day. Get back in school. Ewan, I just explained that I got off school and rushed home to stream this. So, yeah. And I had to disallow your message because, well, it's the automod on YouTube, but... Let's go on board with Simon for the rest of his lap, as it's probably going to be pole. Into turn 4. Slightly on the grass there. Not actually sure if he cut it and invalidated it for that, but yep, he invalidated it. So that's the end of qualifying for him. He is not going to improve, though he is probably still going to stay on pole. And Pencil makes a mistake as well there. Turn 4 really tricky, as I explained earlier. Really hard to get on the power and not lose the back end. Especially with those really aggressive 10 ballast setups, or 9 ballast. Depends on the wings these drivers are using. Degree sits in P3, he took it back from BRL Torpedo, so he drops down to P4. Combined YouTube already finished his lap of course, so he's in P5 for the moment. Bristol has backed out of his lap too, so he's going to stay in P6 if no one else improves. And speaking of improving, Mutant goes into P4, so drops Torpedo, Combined YouTube and Bristol a position back. And then the only driver on the lap is Chris, and he goes P6. There we go. I knew it was an improvement. I'm not skipping school, you, and I got off school like normal. Well, it is official coverage because it's on the YouTube channel, Degree. Might sound more professional than this, but it is true. But that's the end of qualifying. Simon grabs the pole in, I believe, his first race, unless he is driving under a different name and is a driver known in the league already, like Rain Campbell did as Baza in Austria and Canada, which we found out a few days later that it was actually Rain, but we are now waiting for the drivers to confirm their qualifying results, and there we have it. Simon on pole in front of Pencil, then we got Degree in P3, Mutant, Torpedo, Chris, Combined YouTuber, Bristol, Apollo Pepsi, and then Nimble in P10 with a qualifying ban, I believe. He did actually set a lap, but it didn't really affect anyone, I believe. So I think the stewards are gonna let him get away with that one. And then we got Alpha Blue in P11, not setting a time, possibly giving himself an advantage. And the only two drivers on the Ultras are Simon and Torpedo. And Degree as well, Nimble, sorry. So he might regret doing a really slow lap and staying in the top 10. Why are you off school? Because school is over for me today. That's why I'm off school. Let me check if there's rain coming. No, there's not. At least not that I know. Sorry about that. Again, I rushed home, so my throat is a little bit dry. But here we go for the formation lap. And we got Simon leading the way. And everyone is getting slowly off the line, to be fair. But should be fine as long as no one is being hindered by that. Let's get all the telemetry settings up. It's actually really hot in my room, so I'm going to open my window because I don't want to die. Thought I'd get this out of the way before the race starts. So now that I have my window open, I apologize if there's any car sounds that's driving through the street. That's one downside of living in a city, but yep. So the drivers are now completing the formation lap, and Alpha Blue is the only driver disqualified along with Mutant, so be aware that these drivers are gonna have pretty close to cold tires, so they're gonna get off the line quite badly. That's something the drivers are probably aware of as well now. But here we go, the lights are coming on. And it's time to get going for the German Grand Prix, round 7 of SRL Season 8, and we are underway. And it's a good start from Simon, obviously on the ultra soft tires, and into turn 1 they go. Pencil in P2, cutting turn 1 already, and there's Red Bull going slightly wide of the grid. And as far as it looks right now, everyone is getting through turn 1 and 2 pretty cleanly. And the top 3 is pretty much unchanged from the start, as Simon still leads the way. From Pencil, Degree, Torpedo, Chris, Mutant, Bristol, Apollo Pepsi, Nimble, Combined YouTube and Alpha Blue. Into the hairpin for the first time, tricky braking zone, and we're already seeing a lot of overtakes here. And there's Bristol going in front of these guys. And Nibble having quite a decent start too, side by side with Bristol here. And he's gonna look to get it done around the outside, but Bristol is gonna squeeze him to the curbs. But Nimble gets it done into P7, and Apollo Pepsi is getting past as well. So Bristol losing 2 positions to both of the Haas cars, as Nimble almost loses it there, but just about manages to save it. As Degree is losing places, is he? No, he is not. And Pencil with the fastest lap, so I didn't see Simon get a drive-through penalty, so maybe he just got a corner already. That's why the first lap is validated for him. But we'll see what it is. Probably really soon. And the Degree did actually lose positions there. He's down to P11. But look at the slipstream fest in the midfield. Nimble battling with his teammates. Apollo Pepsi tries to go around the outside there, but gets squeezed onto the curbs. Fair racing, of course. But they are still going at it on board from Bristol. And who's gonna get it? It's Apollo Pepsi outbraking Nimble. And he forces his way past Nimble there. Good move from the house driver on his teammate. And Bristol is gonna look to get the move done on Nimble now too. And the ultra cells might already be overheating for Nimble. I believe it was him together with Degree struggling for tire temperatures earlier on in the season. So that might be affecting them now today as well. But Simon pulling away 2.5 seconds from Pencil. 2.7 now. And he might have a drive-through penalty because his fastest lap once again got invalidated. As Chris and Torpedo are battling now. Oh, there's a bit of wind going off for the Force India there. Now Mutant has been quite unlucky this season, from what I can remember. So his luck gets even worse today. Yellow flags in sector 3, where's that? That must be Nimble. No, it's not, because he's in sector 1. That's a little bit confusing, but yeah, Mutant is really struggling with his wing. And he's losing places. He's trying to defend from Apollo Pepsi, even though it doesn't really make sense for him to do that. But he probably just wants to hold on to get to the pits. And Apollo Pepsi is trying to make the move. But Mutant wanted to go into the pits, so that was quite awkward there. But luckily for both of them, they didn't crash out each other. And Mutant gets a penalty too, so that's just... yeah, that's really sad for him. He looked quite decent after qualifying, but he's gonna have to pit now, and his race is pretty much over now. But we did see Simon post the fastest lap of the race now, so he doesn't have a drive-through penalty. Thankfully for him. As Rusto got in front of Apollo Pepsi in the process of Mutant trying to go into the pits. But behind BRL Torpedo, with Rusto of course as well, is a small train of drivers trying to pass each other. That's of course the purpose of racing, but yeah. And Alpha Blue gets a penalty, and that's after 5 laps already. Like I explained in qualifying when I started the stream, this track is very unforgiving for time penalties, as Spencer gets one too. And everyone had to check up because Torpedo went into the pits on his ultra soft tires. The fact he carried them for 4 or 5 laps is pretty decent actually. Normally if you would take them 5 laps before the patch of tire temps, you would have been dead, so... that's a good one from him there. As Nimble gets a penalty too. But we are gonna stay with these 3 guys, as this is the closest and only battle on the circuit right now. And it is quite a good one. Very close in performance between these 3 drivers. So it's worth giving them quite a lot of screen time for this one. But Simon has pulled away 6 seconds from Pencil after 6 laps. So on average that's 1 second per lap. But of course his tires are gonna really fall off the cliff now, and he's already losing time compared to Pencil in the corners. That's Apollo Pepsi off, he just lost the back end there. And he's losing the position to combined YouTuber, who also made a mistake a little bit early I believe. And Pepsi is out. Yep. So that's the first retirement of the day. And if everyone else finishes the race, then everyone is gonna get points. And yeah, that's the first victim of turn 1, the exit curb. Very easy to lose it there. And we may see Simon come into the pits at the end of this lap. You could do 14 laps on a set of softs for each. Let's see what he's gonna do. And he is gonna pull into the pits. There he goes. Be careful to not speed. And he has done that perfectly. Even gained time on Pencil there, entering the pits. So, Pencil takes the lead from the green now. And then Chris is gonna take P3 after Simon pits for a set of softs. So he's probably gonna look to get that to lap 22. No, lap 20, sorry. And he exits the pits in P6 alongside combined YouTuber. And he takes P5 now on the inside. And he loses the back end, and yeah. That's just an oof. As Torpedo gets a penalty too. But yeah, it's really unfortunate for Simon. It's quite easy to do too. I wouldn't blame him for that one. It's just really tough to get on the power there. In general at turn 4. And then cold tires makes it even worse. And I think he's got wing damage too, so he's gonna have to pit once again, and his race is over. He looked really good from the start on the ultra softs, but sadly it wasn't to be for him. And from every pit strategy and wing damage, Alpha Blue now got into P6 in this race. He started last, of course, so he's doing quite a decent job so far today. And Spencer gets his second penalty of the day as well. For this race specifically, I would like to keep an eye on Degree, because he took a lot of penalties, as Alpha Blue did a Vettel there almost in 2014 in Hungary. But he keeps it on the track and out of the wall. And his heartbeat probably went up a lot, loose in the back end there. And as expected, Simon is in the pits once again to replace that front wing. Of course, lost the back end coming out of the pits for the first time. So let's see what he's going to do this time, if he's going to keep it on the track. And I think he's almost a lap down already. He almost is. Around 15 seconds in front of Pencil, I would expect. And he got through turn 4 nicely. It may just... oh. Yep. That's what you're gonna get when you are hurrying home. But I think you could take the mediums to the end from now. It's gonna be really close, but I think it's just about manageable. If you look after the tires, well, then you could make it. Though looking after the tires on this track is really difficult. And if you are gonna do it, you're gonna be quite a bit slower too. As Torpedo and Torpedo and Nimble went off the track at turn 1 there. And Torpedo got a penalty, and Nimble probably a warning. And he dropped another position there. I think I missed that one unfortunately, but... let's see, Nimble on the inside of the hairpin. And he is going to make it stick for now. Torpedo tried to stick it around the outside, but once again gets forced onto the curbs. Of course, it's totally legal to do that as long as he doesn't force him off the track with 4 wheels. If you force a driver onto the curbs, the traction is going to be limited for the driver you are battling. As Degree has gotten in front of Chris there. Or Chris tried to make an overtake, but he didn't quite manage to do so. And Bristol gets a penalty. And unfortunately the timings are being a little bit glitched. I hope that's not going to affect the race too much. Of course, it would be quite sad to have. And we got 7 views for the stream, so thanks a lot for that, everyone. I hope you all are enjoying the stream. If so, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps me out, staying motivated to stream for these guys. But combined YouTube is really close to Risto now, and he's taking better of it. Of going around the outside of there. Mutant is right at the back of Torpedo too. Of course, Mutant had to replace a front wing earlier on in the race. And he's gonna do a dive bomb here for turn 8 sorry. And he's going to make the move stick. Wow, what a move there. That's definitely not a place you expect to make an overtake there. Or get overtaken. So, yeah, that was a nice move there from Mutant. Very clean too. You don't really see that often when someone dive bombs. So, fair play to him. Let's see what combined YouTube is going to do into the hairpin here. Is he going to be close enough? Maybe he is. He's opening the DRS. Don't go into 8th gear, and he does. But he's still able to challenge him into the corner. Trying a switchback line, but Bristol blocked off the traction zone there for him. So Combined YouTube is going to have to wait a little bit to make that move, as Mutant got in front of Nimble too now. And that's a very easy overtake, but Nimble is fighting it back. Little bit of contact, but nothing too bad. And Mutant is into P7 now. An easy overtake with DRS, of course. Helps a lot on the straights. And there we go, Combined YouTuber, trying again on the outside of Bristol. Oh, bit of contact there, but Bristol holds on. I wouldn't call something on that one right away, but I think Combined YouTuber was a little optimistic there, trying it around the outside. But again, I wouldn't call anything on that yet, because I didn't really look at it properly. I just saw two cars making contact and that's it. Don't really remember anything else. And yes, on the stream it looks like Combined YouTuber was a little bit optimistic. But no damage, so they're able to continue. As Degree and Chris are into the pits now. Getting onto the mediums to go 22 laps to the end. And Chris is staying behind Degree, so not able to make up any position. Like I mentioned in, I believe, round 5 was the last time I streamed. Degree is known to have bad connection, not only on the stream but also to the drivers in the race. And Torpedo is out. Where's that? Must be at turn 1. It for sure is, because there's yellow flags. And there he is. He lost it on the curb, I assume, unless he made contact with someone. Though I wouldn't know with who, but he is out of the race, unfortunately. And yep, it looks like he lost the damage on his own, because he wasn't close to anyone else. And Pencil's in the pits now as well, going to the mediums. And Mutant got in front of Alpha Blue. And Alpha Blue lost it, and that's another DNF. It's going fast right now. 2 DNFs in 1 lap. I think he just lost it on the exit again. Don't know what the problem is, to be fair, at that corner. I'm looking at it again on the stream if I can. Yeah, he just lost it on a curb there. Well, we have 8 drivers still running in this race. And we could have another DNF at any moment, of course. But so far, Bristol's in the lead. Of course, he has not pitted yet. And he almost loses it, but catches the car really nicely there. That is for sure a sign that he has to pit on this lap. The more the tires wear, the easier the tires can overheat. And the other way around as well. If the tires overheat, you get more tire wear. And we're gonna see Bristol pull off right now. And there he goes. So Degree is in the lead in front of Pencil and Chris. The 2 Mercedes boys right behind each other. And let's see where Bristol is going to come out on the track. A Mutant is coming in once again too, to go to the mediums, I assume, to the end. And Bristol rejoins just in front of combined YouTuber. Here we go again for round 2. This time it's combined YouTuber in front. Bristol challenges him into turn 3, but stays in front. And up to turn 6 we go now. Bristol is slowly getting temperature into his tyres. And he's going to have a go around the outside there. But not able to make it. And yes, drivers are really dropping it a lot on the power today. But at the moment, the top 3 are the closest car on the circuit at the moment, as Spencer gets a penalty. So it would make sense to look at this battle. So here we go. Can Pencil make a move on the green into the hairpin? He's going to have to make a risky dive bomb to do it, but the green defends the inside, probably expecting a dive bomb from Pencil. So he covered it off, and Pencil not able to make an overtake happen at the moment. Maybe here on the inside of turn 7, 8, sorry. I keep messing up the corner names or the corner numbers. I'm not all too familiar with this track. But Pencil showing aggression to get past Degree here. I'm really going to look at the standings, if I can, on the Discord. To see where everyone is, because I didn't mention this when I started the stream. Pencil's leading from Mutant by 14 points. So he's going to extend his championship lead for sure, as Mutant is in P8. And Degree is in P3 with 67 points. He actually had a race ban last week. The race that wasn't streamed, unfortunately. But here we go again. Pencil on the outside, and he's going to go to the inside here. And he's making it stick, but Degree does the switchback. And gets back in front. Good battle from these two cars. As Pencil again trying to make a move on the inside for turn 8 here. But doesn't manage to do so. Degree making a slight mistake, but still staying in front. And Chris has dropped back quite a lot. He probably made a mistake and is just bringing the car home now. Oh, sliding a little bit there. I just about saw that. Chris passed BRL Torpedo but by punting him in the rear. Well, that sounds like something for the stewards to look at, aka me and the other stewards. Of course, the league coordinator Pencil is part of the stewards team too. But there goes Pencil around the outside of Degree here, and still not making it stick. Degree with extremely well defensive driving. Really professional from him. Of course, recovering from a race ban last week. Mutant got revenge and didn't break. Well, that doesn't sound too nice, to say the least. I would say report it to the stewards and we will look at it later. Mutant is slowly catching Simon in a McLaren. I believe making his debut today, if he didn't last week. And again, Degree with a penalty. I think he's on 3 penalties now, or 2. So take number 3, Pencil on the inside again. And it looks to be done this time. Yes, he is. He's in front for real now. So Pencil into the lead after the pit stops. And he's going to try his hardest to pull away now. And the good thing is he got it done in the time that Degree wasn't lagging as much as he normally is. So it's good to see that drivers are able to actually race side by side with Degree for once, without being taken out by lag. Of course, lag can be a lot, can give you a lot of advantages, but also disadvantages. So now the roles are reversed. Degree is going to have to make an overtake on Pencil in the DRS and get back in front. But Pencil may just be in front enough to hold on. Let's see. He might be. And he just about isn't. Degree pulls alongside, but just can't get the power down good and early enough. And so far we are seeing quite good action in this race. That's good to see. And Pencil gets a penalty as Degree runs wide as well. Probably a warning for him. If not, he got nothing because he did lose a little bit of time there. There's a little bit of an argument going on in the chat, so I'm going to ignore that. Well, it's not really an argument, it's just a response so far. But it might turn into an argument anytime soon. I have a lot of experience with arguments, so... Lap 21 out of 34. 13 laps to go, and Degree once again battling with Pencil. And he's trying a switchback line here for turn 6 out of the hairpin. Up to turn 7, side by side. And he's going to stay behind for a little bit longer. I think he just wants to make an attempt on the DRS straight whenever he can. And if he can't, then he's going to wait. And rest on combined YouTube are also quite close, so if something happens between these two drivers, we are going to skip to them. If there's nothing going on at the front, of course. Nah, it's fine, Rayful. If you were gonna argue, then I would ignore it anyway. I totally understand that you have a point of view. Everyone has it, so... Oh, Degree kicking out the back end there. You don't want to do that too often. Because if you light up those rear tires, then that means more temperature and more tire wear. And it's really gonna cost you at the end of the race. And also in the heat of the moment. Because you get worse traction than you want and need. And Rissel dropped out of the 1 second range from combined YouTubers, so he probably won't have DRS, but the start of lap 23, Degree is really close to Pencil there, entering turn 1. He had to brake a lot more to not completely understeer off the track. And I think we are gonna see an overtake happening right here. He's a lot closer than previous laps. So the DRS goes open. And here he goes. And he's looking for the inside, but he's going to the outside as Spencer covered it off at the last minute. And he is going to break later than Pencil. Pencil now has the right to squeeze him onto the curbs though, and he does that. And he is staying in front for the time being. And Degree once again not able to repass Pencil. Of course, Pencil got past Degree a few laps ago. And he's defending it with all his life right now to hold on to it. And Chris got another penalty. And Bristol is once again into the 1 second range, so he probably made a mistake last lap. Because he just gained around 4 tenths again. On combined YouTube in the Renault. And did Nimble just pit? I think he did. Because Simon was behind him. But Pencil still holds on to the lead as Nimble pits, so losing a position again to Mutant now. Okay, I'm going to quickly look at the penalties for everyone. Pencil has 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties, so that's 12 seconds. Degree has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalties, so that's 18 seconds. Chris has 1, 2 penalties, so 6 seconds. So 12 for Pencil, 18 for Degree. So Degree is going to probably lose the race regardless where he finishes compared to Pencil. If it's in front of him or behind him. Because in the slipstream I don't really see Degree passing and pulling away by 6 or more seconds in 9 laps. And Degree is trying everything to get in front, but it's just not working for him. And like we complimented Degree on his great defensive driving a few laps ago, we have to credit Pencil now for defending really well, as combined YouTuber and Bristol are battling. So let's look at these two. Combined YouTuber held on to the position. Actually ran slightly wide at turn 8. There's yellow flags in sector 2. That's for sure not the leaders. It might be Simon and Mutant. It is Simon. He lost the back end probably and lost the position to Mutant. But let's get back to the front. Degree and Pencil battling. And it's actually a miracle that Degree is not lagging. I think we should all call the newspaper to get it in there for tomorrow. Headlines: Degree not lagging in SRL APAC race. I think that's a good one. And Bristol combines YouTuber again battling. Bit of contact there. But Bristol gets in front of the Renault driver. Decent move around the outside there. Simon is pitting now, so he's going to fall back to P8 behind Nimble. And it's slowly getting more action packed at the front and for P4. Spencer gets onto 15 seconds now. So as long as he finishes within 3 seconds, if Degree finishes 3 seconds in front of Pencil, then he's going to win. If Pencil stays inside of 3 seconds or in front of Degree, then he is going to win. And I have to admit that I didn't expect the race to be this exciting. Hopefully tonight in the European PCF1 League and the F2 League as well, of course, which is not being streamed, we can have some good action as well. As Bristol is losing the position again to combined YouTuber. And Bristol's coming back on the inside here, doing an almighty dive bomb. Going off the track, but he was in front before he went off, so... I think that move was actually legal, but he gave the position back to combined YouTuber. Shows some good sportsmanship though. And that's something far away in many leagues. And I know honestly in SRL sometimes as well. So that was good to see from Bristol there. So he's going to have to try again to pass combined YouTuber later. But like I was saying, hopefully the European PCF1 League can have some good action tonight as well. Be sure to tune in to twitch.tv/Raggy tonight. Not being streamed on the SRL channel anymore. Due to statistic reasons for our streamer. So here goes Bristol again. This time he is in front of combined YouTuber. And he gets the better traction out of the two. And should start pulling away right now. As Simon sets the fastest lap of the race today. 1:30.0. That's around a second of the qualifying times we had today. So good race pace from McLaren. Of course, being really unlucky losing the back end coming out of the pits. And that really killed his race. I think he would have been on for a podium, for sure top 5. But yeah, if you make mistakes like that, then that's going to really cost you. Again, like I said when it happened, you can't really blame that on the driver. It's just really difficult to estimate the grip in that corner. It's different on every tire, every lap basically. It's essentially like driving in the wet. There's just no grip as you exit the pits there. But combined YouTuber coming back on Bristol. And not making it happen. And like Degree and Pencil, these two keep battling non-stop for more than 4 laps already now. And we just hit the lap 30 mark, so we have 5 laps to go. Lap 30, 31, 32, 33 and 34. So that's 5, I believe. If I can count correctly. I'm starting to doubt myself now. Because I'm not really good at maths and stuff like that. I'm good with language, but not counting and everything. But back to the race. Degree still not able to make an overtake back on Pencil. And I think he knows that he's going to lose this race, so he's just going to take it easy from now on. Hoping Pencil gets 2 more penalties, which is unlikely, but you can always hope. And Degree dropped out of the 1 second range there, so I think that confirms that he's giving up and just brings it home to the finish. And Nimble, another penalty. It's not going to matter for him because he's going to finish last of the running cars. Regardless of how many penalties he gets. Unless he gets disqualified, of course. But so, combined YouTuber. Trying it again. On the outside for turn 6, the hairpin. He's more alongside than the previous lap, but still not able to make it. And Bristol stays in front of the Renault. Oh, my YouTube is trying it on the outside here. And he backed out of it. I would say pretty wisely too. Oh, what's happened there? Bristol slowing down. Don't know what that's for. Does he have a puncture? No, he doesn't. He's continuing, but that was really strange. Combined YouTuber got in front. Is he going to give the position back? I don't know why he would do that, but still, I'm just wondering if he would. And Nimble disqualified for too many penalties. I already thought that it would happen to at least one driver, and it did today. But a reminder of tonight's European PCF1 League stream. Twitch.tv/Raggy in the chat at 9 PM CEST tonight. And Bristol gets in front of combined YouTuber here. Repassing after a mistake, I would say. I don't know. I just don't know what that was, but yeah, back in front of combined YouTuber now. So basically back to normal. But we are on the final lap of the race now. Degree dropped back quite a lot from Pencil, just taking it home right now. Combined YouTuber is going to have one more go, but I don't think anything is going to happen. So Pencil comes into the final sector of the race, and he drove really well today. Started in P2, but he's going to win the race, the German Grand Prix, adding 25 points to his championship tally, and he's extending his championship lead from Degree and the rest of the drivers. So congratulations to him. Degree is going to finish in P2 and drops down a lot on penalties. And he's probably going to lose P3 as well to Chris, and he does. So it's a Mercedes 1-2 for Pencil and Chris together. Really good race from these two. Then we're going to have to wait for Risto and combined YouTuber, who had a really good battle at the end. But Risto came out on top. So far, let's see what penalties are going to do. And combined YouTuber gets it. One less penalty than Risto. So combined YouTuber takes 12 points and 10 for Risto. Then Mutant is coming across the line in P6. Of course, unlucky with another driver. Don't exactly know what happened, but he got wing damage somewhere in the race. And had to stop again for a new set of tires and a new wing. But a decent amount of points for him. And Simon takes P7. The final car running. Then we got the DNFs of Alpha Blue, Torpedo, Apollo Pepsi and Nimble being disqualified. And of course, Pencil is really happy with the win. At least he is in game. But I think he is going to be happy in real life too. So this is the end result. Of course, provisional, because we might see reports of drivers, so we might get post-race penalties. But yeah, next week, if there's a stream, I or whoever streams it will update you on that probably. But Pencil takes the win from Chris. Mercedes 1-2, the green P3, dropped a lot of penalties, 24 seconds. Combined YouTuber P4, a clean race from him, no penalties at all, really impressive considering he's on the controller. Bristol P5, Mutant P6, Simon P7 on his, I think, debut race in SRL. And we got the DNS of Alpha Blue, Torpedo and Apollo Pepsi, with Nimble being disqualified for too many penalties. But that's it for this stream. I hope everyone enjoyed it, as well as the race. And I hope to see you all next week, if I am at least there, for the Belgian Grand Prix, if I'm correct. It's so bad. I designed the calendar and I don't know what race is next. That's just too bad. It must be Belgium. And I think it is, because we don't have Hungary. So next week is Belgium. And I hope to see you then. So yeah, goodbye.